Hello, this is the Chamael Corp. My name is Chris,
My name is Chip.
and today we're gonna drink some whiskey. And today we're gonna drink some whiskey.
Yeah, so my parents are getting older, and they're moving off of the farm that they've lived on for 30 plus years. And so we were cleaning out the liquor cabinet, and we found some that I think some of these might even be my grandfather's. So I think we've got one from the 1960s, and the other two have got to be 80s vintage, maybe 90s. But they've got Iowa's got a bottle and can refund, so you get a 5-cent refund. I know in Michigan it's 10 cents, but in Iowa it's 5, and it was implemented in 1979. So I'm guessing that they're older than or newer than 1979, but older than probably 2000. So anyway, I don't have any idea what they will be like.
Well, let's. Do you wanna? How do we do this? Do you want to start with?
Well, we've got Scottish, French, and Canadian. So
All right. Why don't we start with cognac? It's gonna be a little sweeter, I think.
Okay. So we got
And this is the one with the.
Courvoisier.
Get it a little closer
There you
here. And you can see that 5-cent sticker on there too.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
All right. Well done.
And we did put a little stopper on here because the cork, well, they were sitting upright in a cabinet, so the corks kind of disintegrated over time and have fallen in. So I don't know, I might get a little corky flavor
That's
in
all
here.
right.
But
And just a pro tip for storing your bottles of alcohol: if they do have corks, store them on their sides. If those corks stay wet, they will not disintegrate. All right.
well,
I've never done cognac before. I don't think.
I don't know that I've ever had it. I've heard about it.
I've done
It smells
brandy.
sweet. Yeah, is that similar? I don't even know the differences
I
between.
mean, I think it's a fancier brandy. I don't know.
Well, and it's brandy alphabetically comes first. But
Oh, that's
it's actually smooth and not
it's
too bad.
smooth. It's rich.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what I can't tell.
Well, and maybe somebody in the comments knows this, but
40%
if-
alcohol by volume.
if these continue to age, I don't know if there's anything still fermentable in there, so will they get stronger over time?
Well, I thought that when I looked it up, it said that cognac, once it's removed from the casks and bottled, it won't age. That it won't, the flavor profile shouldn't change.
Okay.
I think scotch will, won't it? I don't know.
I'm not sure. All right, so
That's actually not
this
for
is
something
pretty
that's
good.
probably 30 plus years old.
Yeah. I can see why people would
It's a good sipper,
pay, what is a cognac now, 40 or $50 for a bottle?
When I looked at this bottle, the collector's bottles were like 200 online, but I think you can get it for 40, $50 at liquor store.
It's not bad. I miss the days when like your 12-year Glenfiddich and Glenlivet were $32.
Yeah.
There was one time, so fun thing about Iowa, for those of you that are not from, we actually have liquor in our Target stores.
Mm-hmm.
This is apparently not a thing everywhere.
No, because I was just in Minnesota last weekend, and they don't sell.
I noticed
There's got to
that.
be in specialized liquor stores, especially, and I don't know the laws, but there's a gas station, and then there's a liquor store right next to it.
Target had the Glenlivet 18-year, but it wasn't in their inventory system, so they put it out at the 12-year price.
What's the price difference there? It's gonna be,
At that point, I think it was a $90 bottle.
yeah.
So I bought 4 of them.
You took advantage of a major corporation.
I did.
Well,
And I would,
they're pretty woke.
I
so,
would do it again.
Yep.
First one passed the test.
Yeah.
Is the 60s the last one we do?
I think so, because that's the one that scares me as far as...
Oh. It's gonna be good, Chip. It's gonna be good.
You can talk about this one. You know more about Scotch than I do.
So, yeah. This is a single Highland malt. It's the Dalwhinnie 15 year. It's been a while, and I'm not as up on my Scotch as I used to be. But there are different regions of Scotland, and each region produces a different flavor profile, right? You've got your Islay, you've got your Highland, and there's I think there's one or two more. Like one of them is really peaty. That might be the Islay. One is not so peaty. I think that's the Highland. You know, the Glenlivet and the Glenfiddich, I think, are Highlands.
Okay.
So, this is 43% alcohol per volume, and it's yours, so you're gonna pour.
Okay. So this is the Dalwhinnie 15, and it's also got the Iowa 5-cent refund sticker that looks quite old. So,
It does.
So I'm guessing this is somewhere in the 80s that it came from. So it came from the 80s. That sounds like it should be a movie or something.
You know, the little stoppers were probably a good idea because you're going to filter out some of that cork stuff.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Now, this will be significantly different than the cognac, I think.
Yeah. So the cognac's kind of, I guess the reputation's kind of an after-dinner sipping.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like a dessert
Like a
drink.
port.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Are you a Scotch person generally, or not so much?
Not generally, but I like that.
Yeah.
It says it's the gentle spirit. And it's very smooth, but it's got a very different flavor profile than the cognac.
Have you ever had a peaty Scotch?
I'm sure I have. What was you had one that was pretty...
Lafroig?
Yes. That was pretty earthy.
You had that one, though?
Yeah. I think we had it one night somewhere.
Was it at the Halloween party when you were here?
Might have been that, or it might have even been at your old house.
That could have been. I don't know.
Anyway, yeah.
But that's kind of like...
This is very different than that.
It is. Different regions. And it all boils down, as I understand it, to the content of the water that they use.
Oh. Almost like the Belgian monks that brew...
the Trappist.
Chamael and
Yeah.
some of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Trappist monks. So the water quality, huh?
So if you notice, for example, when you look at the Dalwhinnie bottle, it's spelled whiskey without an E at the end. It's just a Y. And that is reserved, I believe, for actual Scotch produced in Scotland. So
I've noticed that there's different spellings. I didn't know that's why.
That's what I was told, and I'm stating this as fact without doing research.
But now I know.
And
knowing is half the battle.
But if you see Scotch whiskey, and it's spelled with an EY instead of a Y, it didn't actually come from Scotland. A Scotch distillery in Scotland did not produce it.
But this one
Clearly, yes.
Cool.
So
that's interesting. It's not as harsh as some of the Scotches
No.
I've had, so it's... And I don't know, I guess I don't know if Scotch continues to age once it's bottled or not, but... I mean, obviously it gets older, but I don't know if the flavor changes
or flavor profile changes, or if it gets stronger. Like for example, a mead. If you open a mead, drink some, seal it back up, and put it in the fridge, let it sit for 6 months, it's going to get stronger because there's still sugars and fermentable things in there.
And is there a point, since some of these are, 30 plus years old, does it
they
stop
top
at
out?
some point?
I don't know.
know.
So this is the part where you whiskey connoisseurs that are watching and
Aficionados.
laughing at us
Yeah, those morons.
can set us straight in the comment section. So if we have said anything incorrect, let us know.
I'll own it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know as much here.
It's kind of like when we did the 3D chess video, and we were
Yeah.
like, "Look, we don't know what we're doing.
We know the basic moves.
There were a lot of you that popped in there and corrected us
and laughed when I broke the martini glass.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
I haven't had a good Scotch in a while. That was delish. Okay.
All right, we think this one is. I looked it up, and there was an ad from like a magazine page that was posted online that was from 1960. So this is Seagram's VO Canadian, and the bottle's really cool. That's why I kept it. I don't know. Is there a little placard on the back? What's it say?
So I just proved myself wrong because this is Canadian whiskey with a Y, and not an EY.
Maybe it's just American whiskeys that are the bastard children of the whiskey.
I don't know.
But I think I've seen, like, is it Santori? The Japanese whiskey is just a Y. There's no E.
That's true too. Yeah. Clearly, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, we know it can be spelled either way.
I am gonna stick by what I said, that if you see Scotch whiskey spelled with an EY, it didn't come from Scotland. That I'm gonna stick with.
Okay. I wonder where we could look something like that up.
This says this whiskey is 6 years old, or at least it was when it was bottled.
Well, we think it's 60, so it might be 6 times 10.
66 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Blended and bottled under the supervision of the Canadian government.
Is that like the Mounties and
Might be.
Parliament?
Like if that was a job to supervise whiskey being distilled and mixed and blended, I would join the Mountie service.
Okay, here we go. So this...
Oh, did you find something?
Yeah, so... Whiskey, with a Y, is the drink made in Japan, Canada, or Scotland. Plural forms is whiskey. Whiskies. Whiskey contains a large percentage of alcohol. The Scots have distilled whiskey for centuries. Blah, blah, blah. So then, whiskey with an EY refers to the beverage from the United States and Ireland.
Huh. I was partially right.
The only thing you need to think about when figuring out the correct spelling is the country of origin. So Japan, Canada, or Scotland is with a Y.
All right.
United States or Ireland is EY.
And we kind of landed on that when we read this bottle, and then you were like, oh yeah, this Japanese whiskey has that too. So,
yeah.
Nice work. Okay.
Sometimes I know stuff, and I surprise myself.
And
so,
I know stuff too, and if we put the two of us together,
we could be dangerous.
We land on the truth as we just...
So like I said, so this was imported from Canada. Yeah. We think it's somewhere in the 60s, so...
Well, and it's got... I don't know what this little code is on the state.
Yeah, it's got the old state of Iowa sticker on it, so... I don't know. That's so it's pre-1979, we know that.
Yeah.
Which makes it roughly at least 40-some years old. The cork's actually somewhat intact here, but it's got a nice little glass stopper to hold it in place.
Yeah.
So, here we go.
All right.
The color's different on this one. It's a little darker. There is a little cork sediment in there. But
I got a few pieces, but that's okay.
I don't think it's going to... Yeah. Did you taste it?
Not yet.
I haven't either. I can't really smell much, but... He might have substituted this with paint thinner or something, too, so I don't know.
Okay.
There's no flavor to it.
Yeah.
It's aged out.
I think so.
So now it's just kind of having a cool bottle.
But you can use it to put a better whiskey in.
Yeah.
Right?
Like an Aldebaran whiskey or...
Right, yeah. Throw people for a loop because it's green.
Yeah. Cool.
So,
yeah,
did we decide the Dalwhinnie was the best of the three?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it held up the best. I mean, the cognac, I could definitely get into having a sip of that every now and then. So,
well, I think we surmise this is from the '60s,
yeah.
And when we were going through some of my dad's things, because he doesn't drink anymore,
mm-hmm.
We were like, oh shoot, there are a bunch of these old bottles, and I had a Glenlivet bottle that I'm guessing because it had that sticker on it.
The old gold Iowa.
The old one.
Sticker.
So I think it was probably mid-'70s, and it was still good.
Was it?
So apparently you just hit that point with this one where it just kind of topped out.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm guessing. So my grandpa died in
Yeah,
1985. So
that's not good.
This bottle's moved probably 4 or 5 times
Yeah.
in the last 50 years, 40 years since he's passed away. So, yeah, this one we just need to dump out.
All right. Fair enough. Well, hey, thanks for watching us drink whiskey.
This is the winner.
The Dalwhinnie wins. I mean, the name.
The name alone.
The verdict was in the name. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, we invite you to check out our other content. It's not all whiskey. Sorry to say.
We got a lot of stuff that we're building and working on. And, but sometimes you need a break and have a drink.
Exactly.
So.
And if you decide you like us enough to support us, we do have a Patreon page. And if you don't want to financially support us, but you still think what we're doing is pretty cool, you can just share our content. You know, spread the video around, post it to your Facebook, hit the like button. The algorithm loves the like button. And comments are good too. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, if you know anything about these whiskeys and potential ages or cognac whiskey and scotch,
hit the comments. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and until next time, drink responsibly.